Good Thursday evening and welcome to the Ncwlife Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window, and a beautiful one. Once again today, I know we sound like a broken record, but not too many of us probably complaining about this beautiful fall weather. A few more high clouds out there today than we've seen for most of the week, but that's not amounting to much. Just a weak system moving through the northern part of the state, bringing us those clouds. But look at that beautiful shot from our Waterville Sky-Fi Tower Cam, looking down at Entiat and the beautiful Cascade Range in the background. But I hope you have the chance to get outside the next few days because changes are coming. Not so much the rest of this week or the weekend, but definitely by the middle of next week, maybe even as early as Tuesday, we could see some rain and showers begin to develop here in north central Washington. It will be cooler and maybe even a little bit breezy as we make our way through next week. And we'll tell you all about that coming up a little bit later on in your weather forecast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A 19-year-old Wenatchee man remains in critical condition at Harborview Medical Center tonight after he was injured Monday night when he fell out of a moving vehicle. And a federal court ruling has refueled the debate over breaching dams on the Columbia and Snake Rivers. But first, we begin tonight. Luckily, nobody was injured when a Jeep collided with a train at the Holly Street crossing in Wenatchee earlier this afternoon, causing a traffic backup and closing streets near the crossing. Wenatchee police were busy until late afternoon clearing that area. It's unknown at this time whether the vehicle's driver tried to drive around the railroad crossing arms or if the vehicle became disabled on the tracks. Police are awaiting video footage from the train to determine what happened. A 19-year-old Wenatchee man remains in critical condition at Harborview Medical Center tonight after he was injured Monday when he fell out of a moving vehicle. The accident happened around 10 p.m. Injured in the accident was Gage Ewan Mora of Wenatchee. Captain Edgar Reinfeld with the Wenatchee Police Department tells us how the accident happened.
Officers responded to what initially came out as a call for an unconscious 19-year-old male in the 900 block of North Mission Street. They arrived to find a male that had actually fallen out of a moving vehicle and was critically injured. The basic story is that there were three people in a vehicle, a regular cab pickup with a bench seat, male driver, female passenger in the middle, and a second male passenger who was the one who was now down in the street. While they were driving, that 19-year-old male had put his upper body out the window, was hanging more and more of his body out of the car as the driver was going north on Mission Street and lost his balance and fell out and struck his head and body on the pavement hard and tumbled for a short distance before coming to rest unconscious in the street. Officers arrived and rendered aid along with fire and ambulance crews doing CPR in the field, and that patient was eventually transported to Central Washington Hospital and then later transferred to Harborview Medical Center.
Captain Reinfeld says the driver of the pickup submitted to a blood and breath test, which both came back negative. A Harborview Medical Center nursing supervisor reported this morning that Mora remains in intensive care in grave condition. A federal court ruling has refueled the debate over breaching dams on the Columbia and Snake Rivers. The ruling issued Wednesday by the U.S. District Court in Seattle orders protection for salmon from warm water temperatures that have impacted fish survival. Ncwlife Steve Hare has more.
The ruling issued Wednesday by the U.S. District Court in Seattle orders protection for salmon from warm water temperatures that have impacted fish survival. The court found that the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has failed to perform its mandatory duty to enforce and ensure a temperature daily maximum in concert with other types of water quality parameters under the U.S. Clean Water Act. Federal Judge Ricardo Martinez ordered the agency to issue a temperature standard for the river. Now, the ruling cites climate change as worsening a long-standing problem with water temperatures in reservoirs behind hydropower dams on the rivers. Clean Water Act bans Columbia River temperatures over 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The court ruling was praised by the conservation and fisheries groups who filed the lawsuit. A spokesman for the Pacific Coast Federation of Fishermen's Associations said, quoting here, "It's simply unacceptable to let hot water kill otherwise healthy adult salmon before they can spawn." He said they're glad EPA will finally do its job, end quote. I'm Steve Hare, NCWLife News.
Thank you, Steve. Coming up next, the first tenants in the Port of Chelan County's new business incubator at Pybus Public Market moved in this week. Central Washington University hosted a debate between 8th Congressional District candidates Dino Rossi and Ncwlife. We have highlights. And tonight, we continue our coverage of the initiatives with the case for voting no on Initiative 1631, the carbon tax measure. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the Ncwlife Evening News.
The physical therapists at Cascade Medical love the outdoors as much as you do. But sometimes where there's love, there's also pain. Let us help you get back to the activities that you love. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Welcome back. In another news, the first tenants in the Port of Chelan County's new business incubator at Pybus Public Market moved in this week.
Christy and I, my wife and I, we've owned a home here for 10 years, and we've been going back and forth. We have family here, and so it just really turned out to be a great spot to expand, and our team really, loves it. And it's a fun thing. We've done team building events out here, so the Seattle team has been out here a number of different times, and so there's a good connection that's been built up over time. And our team, we've had a few leaders come from Seattle over here, but most of the team that is here, we've been actually hiring locally. So we've got kind of a good mixture there.
Subsplash, a Seattle-based developer of apps and web tools for churches and others, is still in the early stages of its expansion to Wenatchee. Subsplash CEO Tim Turner is excited about the potential for growth in the Wenatchee Valley.
There's a number of people who have been getting up and running in the office here. We've got approximately 10 people now, and we're on the path towards hiring upwards of about 20 or so in this office. We would love to be able to continue hiring here and expanding the company and building the workforce here. So, yeah, excited about that.
Currently, Subsplash has about 10 employees, but that will soon grow to about 15 and possibly more. Turner said he has long eyed Wenatchee for growing his 10-year-old business. For the specific roles, we were looking to see, okay, does this area support these specific roles before we opened our office here? And we were pretty sure that was the case. And then we've also been, pleasantly surprised in some of the other areas that we, kind of weren't really anticipating too. So it's been good. Turner added that he is pleased with the skilled labor force he was able to find locally for his business expansion. Subsplash employs about 100 people at its Seattle offices. Central Washington University hosted a debate between 8th Congressional District candidates Dino Rossi and Ncwlife. The two candidates addressed a myriad of issues. There were no real surprises last night as both candidates assumed partisan positions on issues such as the cost and delivery of health care.
And what we need to do is we make sure we bring competition into the system. And you can do it in various ways, by being able to buy across state lines, in freeing up the mandates that we currently have. My opponent wants a government takeover of health care. And a government takeover of health care means that the government's going to pick your doctors, going to pick your hospital. We can't afford that. Even the left-leaning think tanks say that it's going to have to double our income taxes to pay for it. So the bottom line in the end is that if we actually free this up, and the system will work. It'll work if we have competition in the system. And right now we just don't have that. And I believe that as we move through this debate, you're going to hear more and more about these things, because a government takeover of health care will destroy Medicare as we know it. And seniors are counting on Medicare. People that are paid into it for years are counting on it. And I want to make sure it's there for the future.
And I got into this race because I want to make sure that every family in this district, in this country, can afford the care that they need. And that means shoring up the Affordable Care Act, not sabotaging it like our president, and certainly not repealing it without a better replacement like my opponent would do. He supports dismantling the Affordable Care Act and taking away protections for people with pre-existing conditions. This would take health care away from 32,000 people in our district. He also doesn't believe that women can make their own health care decisions, and I think that is a critically important issue. One thing to understand is that I will always be a voice for the people in this district and making sure that people can afford the health care they need, and he will be a voice for insurance companies and big pharma.
Last night was the only time the two candidates will face off in a debate. If you missed it, you can view it on demand on our website. In an effort to keep you, the voter, informed regarding upcoming ballot initiatives, tonight we continue our coverage of the initiatives with the case for voting no on I-1631, the carbon tax measure.
I-1631 is a deeply flawed, unfair energy tax measure that would force Washington families, small businesses, and consumers to pay billions in higher costs for gasoline, electricity, heating fuel, and natural gas, while exempting many of our state's largest polluters from paying any fees at all. And despite billions in cost to consumers, there's no guarantee that 1631 would result in significant reductions in carbon emissions. Decisions on spending billions would be made by a new bureaucracy of an unelected board with no real accountability for how the money would be spent. A state analysis shows 1631's new energy tax would cost Washington families and consumers more than $2.2 billion in the first 5 years alone, and had hundreds of millions of dollars in increased costs for higher electricity and natural gas bills. And 1631's escalating taxes would automatically increase every year with no cap. Many of our state's largest polluters would be exempt from 1631. In fact, 6 of the top 10 carbon emitters in the state, including a coal-fired power plant, as well as pulp and paper mills, aircraft manufacturers, and other large emitters, would be exempt from paying 1631's fees or any associated cost increases. So large corporations and polluters would be protected, while consumers and small businesses would be forced to pay billions in higher energy costs. Independent estimates show 1631 would increase gasoline prices for Washington consumers by up to 14 cents a gallon in the first year alone, increasing every year. These increases would quadruple within 15 years with no limits on how high they could go. In addition to gasoline prices increases, 1631 would also increase the costs Washington families would pay for natural gas, heating fuel, and electricity. As a result, it's estimated that 1631 would cost Washington households hundreds more per year, increasing every year. And farmers and small businesses would be forced to unfairly pay thousands more per year in increased energy costs. That's why Washington Farm Bureau, NFIB, Association of Washington Business, and Washington Retail Association all urge no on 1631. And these energy cost increases would especially hurt lower and middle income families, seniors, and others who can least afford to pay more. That's one reason labor organizations representing working families such as IBT Local 174, Iron Workers District Council, Northwest Laborers District Council, UA Local 32, and many others urge a no vote on 1631. Climate policy is too important to get it wrong. With little to no accountability for spending billions, there's no guarantee that 1631 would be effective or have any significant impact in reducing carbon emissions. Please look into the facts and join thousands of Washington families, small businesses, family farmers, labor households, employers, and consumers in voting no on 1631. Thank you.
You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill,
I have a job. I'm working now. Thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you.
Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
I came here to CVCH because one of my friends referred me. When I met Dr. Jocelyn, she was just amazing. She connected with my son, and it meant so much to me. He opens up so quickly because she just sits there and plays with him. It really is like going to see a friend. It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted and respected. It just feels like home.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. Time now for our weekly Kennel Cameos feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Today, NCW Life's Megan McPherson introduces us to Danny the dog.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life channel. We are here with Renee Parkins, the Development Officer of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and we're also here with Robin, Danny's foster parent, and we're here with Danny. So can you tell us about Danny?
Yes. Danny is, according to the vet, a 3-year-old Chug, which is a Chihuahua Pug mix. And he's from Texas. When he came here, he was really stressed out by his trip and being in the shelter. So we took him into foster care in late July, and he has just blossomed ever since. Once he got to know us, he's really shy around new people and maybe sharp noises, but oh, there you go, baby. That's a boy. He's very sweet. Now he loves other dogs. He would do okay in a house without any other pets, but I don't think he would thrive. I think he would thrive with another dog in the house that he can play with. He loves to take walks. He loves to jump on the bed and get a tummy rub in the morning. And you would never have thought that was possible if you had met him in July. Here you go, baby.
Do you know how he is around kids?
I would say he probably shouldn't be around young kids. The noise and hustle bustle would probably be a little uncomfortable for him, and probably not in a situation where he has people coming in and out of the house that he doesn't know frequently, because again, he's shy, and those kind of situations kind of stress him out. He would also need a fenced yard. He does have a skill that I need to tell you. He can jump over barriers if they're not tall enough. Yeah, and he only does it if he has a dog to go visit. So, yeah.
So he loves to go play with his friends.
He does. He's a very social little guy with other dogs. And he's very friendly with us now that he knows us.
Oh, he's such a sweet little guy, and he's so cute. If someone wants to adopt him, what should they do? Should they set up an appointment with you?
You can call the Humane Society. They'll put you in touch with me, and we'll set up a time and place for you to meet with him, or I can answer any questions that you may have, and we'll go from there.
Yep, and our number is 662-9577. Awesome.
Danny.
She's for you, Danny.
Do you have something to say? Danny.
It's his.
Oh.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. Kennel Cameos is supported in part by Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory in Leavenworth. Not only does the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory have great house-made fudge and super delicious candy and caramel apples, but they also have great doggy treats for your four-legged friends, located at 636 Front Street in Leavenworth. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. What a day again today. High temperature so far, 64 degrees. And if that holds steady, that'll be our third day in a row this week of 64. I don't think anybody's complaining about that, but high clouds out there, that kept our temperature down a little bit. We were supposed to be around 67 today. 38 was our overnight low this morning, just below where we should be. 60 is our normal high for this time of year. 72 the record high, and 74. 26 the record low temperature. That was set back in 1982. No new precipitation the past 24 hours. Our sun rose this morning at 7:24 and will set tonight at 6:07. Let's see what's happening with our weather as we move closer to our upcoming weekend. Tomorrow, just like today, in fact, maybe even a little bit warmer. We could get into the mid and upper 60s tomorrow. Once again, clouds deflecting up and over this big ridge of high pressure that's basically been in the eastern Pacific for the past 2 weeks or so. Saturday, what a great way to start our weekend. Sunny and nice. Once again, all the clouds coming up and over Washington State. But we are keeping our eye on this big boy out in the Pacific. It's coming down from the Gulf of Alaska, moving even a little bit closer to us as we get to Sunday. Luckily, it really won't affect our weather much on Sunday. Maybe a few high clouds in Wenatchee, and that's about it for Sunday. And then we start seeing some changes as we move into the first part of next week on Monday. It could be our last sunny day as this system finally kicks into gear and moves into Washington State. We will see chances of rain on Monday in western Washington, and look what happens by Tuesday. This system will move in. We'll see increasing clouds and a 30% chance of at least evening showers on Tuesday. As that system continues to push through, we'll see a little slight chance for some showers Wednesday morning. Once again, about a 30% chance, and then partly cloudy skies by Wednesday afternoon. But then another storm moves in right behind that one, bringing us more wet weather beyond Wednesday and into Thursday and Friday. Let's take a look at your quick lube and tune forecast. Tonight, 42 our overnight low. We'll warm up tomorrow to 68 degrees. Saturday and Sunday, pretty much a carbon copy for our weekend. No complaints there at 67. 66 your Monday high temperature. We will cool down with that system moving in on Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday 61, Wednesday high temperature of 60 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the Ncwlife Evening News continues right after this.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home, too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
And now it's a sports update on the Ncwlife channel.
And a happy Thursday. Nothing quite like the pitch-to-pitch, inning-to-inning drama of postseason baseball. Boston and Houston's Game 4 at Minute Maid Park came down to the bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded, 2-out situation. Astros best hitter Alex Bregman facing the Red Sox best closer Craig Kimbrell. Houston trailed 8-6. Bregman drove Kimbrell's first pitch on a sinking live drive to left field where Boston's Andrew Benintendi made a spectacular diving catch to preserve the win and put the Red Sox one win away from returning to the World Series. The Astros will turn to ace Justin Verlander to extend their season today in Game 5 on TBS. Meanwhile, the Dodgers lead the National League Championship Series 3-2 after a 5-2 win over Milwaukee yesterday at Dodger Stadium. Clayton Kershaw pitched 7 masterful innings, 1 run, 3-hit ball with 9 Ks. Game 6 Friday in Milwaukee at 5:39 on FS1. Well, congratulations to Kashmir's Haley Van Lith. She's seen here biting her gold medal she earned along with the USA Women U18 3-on-3 team at the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires, Argentina yesterday. It's the second consecutive gold medal for the Team USA. Haley scored 28 points in 7 games during the tournament. Congratulations. Turning to the prep soccer schedule for today, season winding down. Manson traveling to Brewster, Kashmir hosts Chelan. Eastmont is at home to Davis, while Wenatchee's on the road at West Valley, coming up tonight at 7 o'clock. Volleyball court tonight, well, here we go again.
A point to Eastmont would win it here for the Wildcats. Service by Osborne. And the serve across. Down low goes Voschel. Ream gets it. Vaughn gets it across. Back line to Dexter. Up front to Redmond. Now the kill attempt, and it is out! And the point goes to Eastmont! And the Wildcats knock off the Panthers in the first meeting of the season here at Eastmont tonight, winning the 4th final of 15-12. How about that?
That was a month ago. Tonight, the two teams meet again. Panther coach Connor Metcalf says his team is playing much better than earlier this season.
The record doesn't speak of it right now. It was a little bit of a slow start, but I would say probably in the last 2.5 weeks we've really picked up steam, and these girls are playing with a ton of confidence. They're confident with our philosophies that we have now. They're confident with the skills. They're going up. They're doing things inside of practice and matches and adapting to the gameplay. So I'm really excited, having started our second leg of league this last week. I'm really excited to see where we finish up here this last half of it.
Eastmont's coming off a win on Tuesday. Wildcat coach Corinne Davis said she and her team are looking forward to that rematch with Wenatchee.
We'll see. Like I said, there's something in some kind of thing. Wenatchee and Eastmont, we tend to go 5 quite a bit. Who knows? It'll definitely be a good matchup. I know they're going to bring a lot, and we're ready to bring some too. So.
Coming up tonight, 7 o'clock, I'll be alongside Leanne Branham with the play-by-play. Also tonight on the prep volleyball schedule, Antioch hosting Wilson Creek, Brewster's at Manson, Oroville hosting Waterville, Mansfield, Chelan traveling to Kashmir. The Big Nine has a big swim meet today at Moses Lake. All of the Big Nine teams in the pool there for their Big Nine swim dive meet. Our featured football game this week on the Ncwlife channel Friday night, Eastmont Wildcats hosting the Eisenhower Cadets. Eastmont is undefeated through 3 Big Nine games so far, 6-1 overall with 3 games remaining. Junior Carson Everhart was brought in at quarterback in the second game of the season with Caleb Massey moving out to the slot position. Everhart says he's received a lot of help from his coach and teammates to keep working week to week on staying steady on the task at hand.
You know, I just have to focus each week as it comes. You know, I haven't focused on Moses Lake or Wenatchee or even playoffs yet. It's just like keep focusing on the things that I'm not so good at. So just keep trying to get better at what I'm not good at and what I am good at. So just trying to get better every week.
Who's helping you the most with that and that progression for you as a quarterback?
Probably Coach Don. He's always positive. Sometimes he's not, but if I ever have questions, I can ask him, and he helps me good. Massey helps me too. He's always positive, and we just stay after and work, and you know, it's going good.
Eastmont Ike tomorrow night, 7 o'clock here on the Ncwlife channels. We continue our series on Paul Allen this week. We remember his efforts 21 years ago to save the Seahawks from moving to California. Once Referendum 48 passed in 1997 to build a new Seahawks stadium, replace the aging and decrepit Kingdome, it was also time to focus on building Seattle's team into a winner.
Here we go, CDI. Clear.
I think the winning culture started when we just kept watching this beautiful facility rise out of the ashes of the Kingdome.
Paul grew up watching Husky football in the Husky Stadium. His dad would take him to games.
We grew up loving.
And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.